So Reddit, what was surgery like? I was in extreme pain before my surgery. At the time, my parents didn't know what was wrong, but anything I tried to intake for sustenance would be rejected by my body instantly in a watery mess of burning and confusion as to why it was happening. I was 7 at the time, and I couldn't fathom why this was happening to me. After a few hours of trying to set up an appointment with a doctor, my parents took me to the ER where my aunt worked at instead, where it was found that I had appendicitis. It was in the stage where if not treated, it would have burst open and most likely cause an infection in my abdomen. Being a rather young child, the 11-day stay at the hospital didn't merely feel like a week and a half, it felt like an eternity. I felt so lonely at times because my parents had to work so they couldn't stay with me throughout the whole day, and my nanny could not stay with me since they didn't allow guests to stay in the room overnight. This was the worst part about the whole ordeal, besides not being able to go to the bathroom without assistance and having to get injections, and boy did I hate needles at that age. In order to cope, my parents would record cartoons on VHS. They didn't have any cable in the hospital, so that I could watch them in my room. It helped me think less about the predicament and really cheered me up. I didn't get a catheter put in, so I don't know what it feels like, so I suppose that is fortunate. And yes, I do have quite an unsightly scar on my lower right torso, but it has faded quite nicely over time. It still feels pretty numb though, which is a weird feeling. Also, it definitely benefited me I didn't end up dying. In terms of cost, my mother and father were both working for companies that would pay for medical expenses and emergencies, so we luckily did not have to spend any money. The most painful parts of my stay at the hospital was the post-surgery soreness. Whenever I would have to get an injection, it was always on my posterior, and probably the suppository medication I was administered.